Artists, today we are going to be doing a project with circles. Each table has different sizes of circles to trace, and what I want you to do is I want you to fill your paper up with some circles, but I do not want you to overlap them. So what that means is if I decide to put one circle here, I'm holding my tracer down with one hand and I'm tracing it with the other. The next circle, if you decide that you want it to be behind your first one, then that means you need to make sure that your circle does not go over your first one. So now my small circle that is done in blue is on top of the purple one. And I want you to continue that with the different sizes of circles. So I'm going to continue holding the tracer with one hand and tracing with the other, and making sure that I do not overlap my circles. You probably want at least 7 circles to fill your paper. Once you have filled your paper with a variety of circles, I want you to start doing some concentric circles to fill them in. Concentric means it's almost like a bullseye. So if I decided that I wanted this circle to have a light blue edge, I would try to make another circle just a little bit smaller, and I would fill in that line with that color. Almost creates a bullseye pattern. So if this is my color number 1, then I can decide what do I want my second concentric circle color to be. So if I decided I wanted a pink, I would try to match that circle as best as I can, and it doesn't have to be perfect. And I'm going to fill that in. So this is my second concentric circle. Okay, now I could just repeat my pattern. I could do another blue and another pink, or I could add a third color. So my circles do not have to be perfect, but what I'm doing is I'm just putting a circle inside of a circle, inside of a circle, inside of a circle, and I'm filling those in with color. And I'm going to repeat that over and over and over again until I don't have any white paper showing. So this could probably be the last of my concentric circles. And I want you to do that with all of your circles. Once you have finished adding color to your concentric circles, I want you to take a Sharpie and I want you to pick one pattern to add to the back of your project. So all of this white space, I want you to pick one pattern to add to the back. And I think I'm going to do maybe a zigzag pattern. So what I would do is I would start and I would add those zigzags, and I would kind of start and stop on the edge of each of my circles. Kind of slowing down and taking my time, but I want to fill up some of that background in the negative space so that it's not so plain. So I'm going to pause and catch up. Once you've picked a design for your background, I would like you to go back in with your Sharpie and I would like you to go ahead and outline the edges of your circles. And this is going to help them to kind of pop and stand out. So each of your concentric circle lines, you're going to go back in and outline. And this will help you maybe even cover up some of those edges where maybe you kind of went outside the lines. So go ahead and do that. Once your circles have been outlined, there is one final step. And for each of your concentric circle patterns that you picked, I want you to choose one of the colors. I would recommend choosing the lightest color, but it really doesn't matter. And for each of your circle patterns, I want you to pick another pattern to add just to the lightest pattern in your circle. So this one I'm just going to do some straight lines, and I'm going to add them to each section of my lightest color. Okay, now I can move on to the second one. Maybe for this one, Do a swirled line. I'm going to repeat that for each of my areas. Now, if you have colors that repeat, I could do this pattern on all of my pinks, this pattern on all of my yellows, or I could switch it up. It's up to you. When you finish, you will have created an art project with a pattern of concentric circles that also has pattern inside.